Hey, everybody. So, we are on school closure not indefinitely, but until April 5th right now. And if you don't know, I am a family and consumer science teacher in Wisconsin. My name's Elizabeth Madrick. I feel like this is a really awesome time to kind of show my students how to just live in what's happening right now. And so I promised them that I would either go live or post videos over the next couple weeks while we are home. So now's as good a time as any. It is Monday afternoon, Monday evening. And so we are going to have tacos tonight. One thing I'm always sharing with my students is how to make food go further. So we talk about meal extenders a lot. So I'm going to show tonight how I make tacos with a meal extender to extend that food. So it'll feed more people for a longer period of time. So I'll kind of give you guys a look here at my setup. So I've got a gas stove. I've got a nice large skillet on it. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my pan. If you cook meat, if you cook anything really, it is extremely important to preheat your pan. So I'm going to be cooking meat. I need to sear it. So it's on a medium-high heat right now. And I'm going to get that pan nice and hot. So next thing I'm going to do is prep my meal extender. So I'm just going to kind of turn you guys this way and point you down. You can see my cutting board right here. Okay. And so I'm going to add some vegetables to my dinner. It's always important to make sure you have sharp tools when you are cutting. So I'm going to sharpen my knives here real quick. I always sharpen them right before I use them. Okay, gives you a nice sharp knife. All right, and we are making tacos tonight. I am going to add red onion, bell pepper, and black beans to my taco meat. So if you've never cut a bell pepper before, or you cut it the way where you like section it out, kind of like an apple, I'm going to teach you a different way. So I cut the stem, or this one, actually the stem was really short, but the stem is lower than the curves on the bell pepper. Okay. And I'm just going to take my knife and I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to cut down and around my bell pepper, just like you would maybe like supreme an orange. If you don't know what that means, if you go to a really fancy restaurant, sometimes you get like citrus desserts, and they have cut your citrus in such a way that there's like none of the white pith on it, that white stuff that's inside citrus fruits. It's called pith, and they supreme it. So they basically cut all the pith off. And kind of the same thing happens. Obviously, I messed this one up just a little bit, but the same thing kind of happens when you cut a bell pepper this way. All of the inside parts stay, and you're just left with the yummy, meaty part of the vegetable. So I'm going to take my bell pepper, and I'm just going to cut it into strips. You notice that I'm using my claw, and I'm pushing forward. When we cut, we use a rocking motion. Okay, so I'm cutting forward, and then I'm going to dice my bell pepper to go into my pan. My family, we eat a lot of vegetables, and the reason we eat so many vegetables is because I serve them vegetables. It's never a, do you want this? It's always, this is what we're having for dinner. And does sometimes my son or my husband complain? Sure, but I try really hard to just make that the norm for what we eat. Okay. So when my son was really little, I would cut his vegetables super small to kind of incorporate them a little more easily. Now that he's older, he knows they're there. Sometimes he complains about them. Sometimes he tries to pick them out. But I also don't believe in really hiding food from kids. I feel like if you hide it and then you all of a sudden, surprise, guess what you ate? It's like you lied to them. And that might breed resentment, and then they might not want to eat that food anymore. All right, so my pan is hot. I can smell it. I can actually smell how hot it is. Okay, so I'm going to turn it down to medium. All right, and I'm going to add my meat. So I've got a 3-pound roll of ground beef, and I'm only going to use a third of it. I'm only going to use a pound tonight. I'm going to grab a different knife so I'm not cross-contaminating. Okay, and I'm just going to cut into, yeah, you can help, buddy. Want to go grab the stool? Yeah. My son is here. He wants to help. So I'm just going to cut into it so that I'm not cross-contaminating. I'm using a different knife, okay? And I'm going to take the meat and put it right into my hot pan. When your food hits the pan, if it doesn't sizzle, your pan's not hot enough. Like, that's just a fact, okay? So my meat is in my pan. I'm gonna take, I got this fancy contraption from Pampered Chef, but all through college, I just used like a spatula in order to do this. This is my son. He's right in the middle of the shot. But I'm going to break up this meat for you guys. All right, go wash your hands, please. In there. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just going to break the meat up so that it starts to brown. Now, I did not add any oil, fat, butter, cooking spray to the pan. I'm cooking meat. I'm cooking beef. It already has fat in it, and I'm using a nonstick pan, so I didn't need to add any of that extra stuff to it. Okay, so while my meat is browning, I am going to continue to work on my vegetables. I'm going to dice my onion now. I'm going to take my peppers and push them to the side here on my cutting board. Okay, I'm going to get out my onion. I'm using a red onion. Okay, so when you cut onions, if you've never been instructed on how to do it, take my knife. I just kind of score this in, and then I'm going to cut right down. You guys can't really see. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to cut right down through the root and the stem. Okay, the root, I always tell my students, it's like a ponytail holder. So if my hair's up on a ponytail and I take that ponytail holder out, all the layers of my hair go sliding out. But if I leave that root on, it will hold the layers in place. So I'm going to cut the stem end off, and I'll use that to peel back this papery skin. Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. So now I am going to dice up my onion. I'm going to start. I'm going to come in right here on this top layer and just kind of cut through it a little bit back towards the root end. Not all the way. Okay, just a little bit, like through the widest part. And then with my claw, I'm going to cut.
Can I help
back? And you can help with the meat in just a minute. I'm going to cut back towards that root end again. I'm going to use my claw. And now I'm going to cut down and get a nice dice on my onion. Okay. Once I get to the end, I just cut down the end that way. Technically, I cut the root off on this one in that first pass, so I don't have to worry about the root on this piece, because all the root is on this piece. And you might be like, Magic, that's a lot of onion. You're right, it is. But it is delicious. Onions have tons of flavor. I always say, all the good foods start with two incredible things, onions and garlic. And so if you like food with flavor, chances are you like onions and garlic, even if you don't like them raw. All right. So continue here. Same thing. Okay, cut back towards the root. All right, so you guys can kind of see here. I'm going to cut back towards the root. Okay, making sure I don't cut my fingers. And then I'm going to cut back towards the root this way, vertically. Okay, and then with my claw, I just push down and forward. Okay, it's like rocking a boat. Down and forward, down and forward, down and forward. Onions can be kind of slippery. Okay, so don't hesitate with those. All right, so now I've got all of my nice diced veggies. All right, let's come back and check on our meat. All right, so my meat is browning on the bottom. You can see it. Okay, so I'm going to heat it up a little bit here. Okay, so meat, M-E-A-T, bud. M-E-A-T. All right. when you're cooking meat, you don't want to add anything to the meat while it's still raw. You want it to finish cooking. So I'm gonna let that keep browning, and I'm gonna keep prepping things. So when you're cooking at home, like I've been cooking for 10 minutes. I look at the timer right now, I've been cooking for 10 minutes. But I've got almost all my veggies done, my meat's almost done. Once the meat's done with tacos, the meal's pretty much ready. So get a couple other things ready. I'm gonna get my taco seasoning out, which is up here hiding somewhere. There it is. So my house is really old, and I have these crazy weird cabinets that like slide. It drives me nuts. But at the same time, it is what it is. So got my taco seasoning out. I also make my own with my students, but I'm totally cheating right now and just using the big pack. So I will, ooh, that is fragrant. I will drop my recipe for homemade taco seasoning in the comments on the video, so you can see it later. Okay, but just taco seasoning. And if I read it, so I'm making 1 pound of meat, which means I need 1/4 of a cup of taco seasoning and 2/3 of a cup of water. The reason we add water to taco seasoning is it helps the flavor spread around, and it also turns it into more of like a sauce. Okay, so I got my 1/4 of a cup. Here, turn. This is my son. All right. So I'm going to continue to get things ready. All right. There's my taco seasoning. No, not time for that yet. Thank you. All right. So I said it's Meal Extender Mondays. Let's talk about meal extenders. One of the things I remember vividly from, I think it was 10th grade adult living. That was what my family ed class, my family and consumer science class was called in high school. One of the things I remember really intensely was our lessons on meal extenders and how to make food go further. I grew up without a lot of money. And so meal extenders, I already kind of knew what they were, but I didn't have a name for them. Okay. I'm not making you hot chocolate right now. So one of my favorite meal extenders is beans. And I do this with my students. I'm always like, ew, magic beans, gross. They're going to make me fart. And I'm like, let me tell you about beans. So let me just check on my meat here. It's almost done browning.
Turn it off.
My son has the beans right now. So, with beans.
Yeah, with beans.
Okay, so here's the trick. If you open the can and you just dump it right into whatever you're cooking, you get all the bean juice, bean water. It's called aquafaba. It's got a name. Did you know that? Aquafaba.
I'm a frogger
for the day.
If
If you're going to be repeat, you can leave Pete. Yeah. Okay. So, beans. All right. Beans are awesome. They're a great source of fiber. They're a good source of protein. And people just don't give them enough credit. Okay. So I just have a can of beans. I'm going to pop the top.
Yeah, can I help?
Okay.
I'm doing that.
All right.
I'm pouring them.
Okay. And then I'm just going to pour them over my sink. Okay. To get all of the bean water off. Okay. All right. And then
Why is bean
so
water?
I'll turn you guys this way so you can see. All right. Beans. All right. We're going to rinse them under clear water. Okay. And we want to rinse them until all of the liquid on the beans runs clear. Okay. So I'm using black beans. So it's really easy to see the color of the water. Okay. So it's now nice and clear. All right.
Sure, but back.
And so now we are just about ready. So I'm shaking all of the excess water off the beans. Okay. Shaking it all off. All right. And adding them over here. So now, if you guys look down at my cutting board, I have all of my stuff ready that's going to stretch my meat. Okay, so I'm using vegetables and beans as a meal extender tonight. They're all going to make my meat go further. So my beef is all cooked. All right, it's nice and brown. I'll let you see it. Okay, you have a choice here. You can drain the excess fat off, which especially if you're using a higher fat meat, like maybe you're using 70-30. I'm using 80-20 ground chuck. But if you're using a higher fat meat, you could definitely drain the fat off. I am just going to leave it be because I'm going to cook all these vegetables in it, and I really want that fat to flavor it. Fat really does give food flavor, and that is just one of the secrets of good cooking. My family also doesn't eat a lot of red meat, so I don't feel bad if on the nights that we do, we have a little bit higher fat content with our meat because we don't really eat a whole lot of it. We're more chicken or lean pork or seafood people. So I've added all of my vegetables. I cleared a space in the pan and I put the vegetables right on the pan. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a spoon. I'm using nylon tools, or yes, you can start using nylon tools or plastic tools because this keeps the nonstick pan from scratching. Okay, all right. Okay, you can go ahead and stir the veggies while they cook. Okay, all right. He's going to cook the vegetables. So you need to hold the pan with your other hand. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Hey, Mama.
Let's hope it stays in the pan and doesn't end up on the floor. All right, so while he's doing that, I am going to get toppings ready. Okay? So we are going to do cheese, sour cream, hot sauce, lettuce.
No hot sauce.
That's the stuff we like. I like hot sauce. He doesn't like hot sauce. Whatever.
My
all right.
dad doesn't like
if I wasn't
hot
there when
sauce.
he was born, I might not know he's mine. We love hot sauce in this house. Okay.
You
So I have some romaine leaves. I have washed them. Okay. Wash your lettuce. He loves lettuce. Okay. So I have washed my lettuce. And now I am going to chiffonade. Okay. That's a nice cooking term for you there. Fancy French words. Okay. I'm going to chiffonade my lettuce and make my own shredded lettuce for tacos. So this is the knife I've been using for vegetables, so I can still use it for my lettuce. I've only used it on the bell peppers and the onions, so it's fine to use it on the lettuce. Okay. Also, my cutting board, I've only had vegetables on my cutting board. So again, it's okay to put the lettuce on there because it's not been cross-contaminated with meat. Okay. So when you chiffonade things that are leafy, lettuces, herbs, that kind of stuff, you want to stack them up nice and neat. Okay. And then again, I use my claw. Okay, and I'm just going to go down the leaf, okay, and create these really thin strands of lettuce. Okay. What's up, bud?
Why is the pin not letting me in?
Okay. I'm going to let the really fibrous ends of the lettuce, I'm just going to put that off to the side. We're not going to use that. But you see I have all of this fresh shredded lettuce. And I'm not really a fan of iceberg lettuce, which is what's usually in like shredded lettuce bags for tacos. So I really prefer, this is romaine, and I really like romaine. And like I said, he really likes lettuce. Like he will just straight up eat lettuce. Again, if I wasn't there, I don't know if I know he's mine. Okay, so, all right, so I'll show you guys the veggies and the meat that's going away over here. We got it stirring, okay.
And you're just
knock some on the floor. All right, the dog is excited. Mom. I see that.
What are the number things? Because I don't know how to spell salad.
Do you want to write lettuce?
Yeah.
L-E. All right, so some of the things I'm looking for with the vegetables, L-E-T-T. U-C-E. So I'll bring you guys over here. So some of the things I am looking for. I'm looking for the onions to get translucent. So that means they're kind of clear. I'm looking for the bell peppers to kind of shrivel up. They'll get nice and wilted that way. So those are all things that tell me that the vegetables are close to done and we're getting ready to season things. Okay. So those are still going. Lettuce. Okay, what else do you want to put on there? Onions?
Yeah.
All right, onions. O-N. I-O-N-S.
That's done.
Yep. All right. Yep, that's onions. Okay. All right, so the vegetables are almost done. I'm going to add my black beans now. Cook them. So one of the things, like if you don't like beans especially, nobody likes uncooked beans. Like they're canned, so they've been hydrated, but they haven't been cooked. So give them a little bit of a fry in the pan. It makes them taste better. Okay, so my beans are in there. Yep, onions. Peppers?
No, I need
Which one? The pan?
that onions.
Onions are the purple thing. The orange things are bell peppers. Okay. All right, so bell is B-E-L-L.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, let the
L-L?
beans, B-E-L-L, yep, let the beans cook, guys. They're
L-L.
gonna taste better, okay?
L-L.
All right, peppers, P-E.
P. These are both P's.
No, those are both B's. You need a P. So it's B-E-L-L. P-E. P-P-E-R-S. Okay? All right. And then you want to write tortillas?
Why do you spell tortillas?
I will let you read it right off the package. Tortillas. Okay. So my son is in first grade. Spelling is very exciting right now. All right. So that's all cooking away in there. I'm going to go ahead and now add the seasoning so that the flavor can start to really develop. So I've got my seasoning. It calls for 1/4 of a cup for a pound of meat. So I'm going to put that in there. All right. I like to try to coat everything in the seasoning before I add the water. Okay. So some of the things that are in taco seasoning that give it its really distinct flavor: garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, paprika, cayenne, oregano, salt, black pepper, and sometimes you can show me again, and sometimes even powdered milk. So that one throws people. If you have friends or family members who have food sensitivities, it's really important to check the labels on things because he's got my vice. It's really important to check the labels on things because sometimes those things that they might be allergic to are in that food. Okay? All right. Move out of the picture, please. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So those are done. I'm going to add some water to that and then just let the flavors kind of come together. And then we'll be ready for tacos.
Right.
All right.
I'm doing water.
All right. Go ahead and add the water, buddy. Thank you. All right. Here you go. Stir it up. Okay. So pretty much at this point, guys, we are ready. We're just mixing. We are just mixing the meat with all of its extenders in it, in with the essentially sauce that's now been made with the taco seasoning, so that everything has a nice, well-developed flavor. All right, I've got my toppings. So I showed you guys how to chiffonade lettuce for your toppings. Okay, I've got some shredded cheese, sour cream, and my family's from Texas. We like tortillas for our tacos. If you like crunchy shells, my husband actually really likes to eat tacos on top of tortilla chips. And basically makes nachos. Okay.
Cream.
Sour cream. So here you go. It's 24 minutes and 45 seconds. And essentially, we just made tacos from scratch with a meal extender and all the toppings. Now all that's left is assembly. So like I said, I'll drop a recipe for my homemade taco seasoning in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make your meat stretch, make your meat go further, and get more bang for your buck. All right. I'll be posting hopefully videos every day, maybe not always live, but posting videos for you guys and giving you a chance to kind of see maybe what your teachers are also doing during this wacky break. All right. Stay safe, stay healthy. Wash your hands, guys. Bye.
Bye. Come on.